will have revenge. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
Welcome, followers of the Dark Side and the Light. I'm your host, John, the real JP3, and I'm joined as always with my good friend and fellow co-host, who is a master of the dark side, expert on the occult, and obtainer of rare antiquities and holocrons. Please welcome Dark Lord of the Sea, David.
Pop.
Dave's a little off his rocker tonight,
You know,
guys.
a little out of it, but it's all right because it's episode 134 of Balance of the Force podcast. So if you're new to listening, hey, hi, how's it going? My name's David. That's John. He just turned 32 a couple days ago, so he's got a couple more gray hairs, receding hairline, lost his hearing. You know, a lot's changed in the last 48 hours for him. Got a new pair of Crocs. He's a whole new man over there. Whole new man.
Let's be very clear. You guys can't see it. Well, maybe you can see it. I don't have any gray hair. Dave, on the other hand, has like loads of it.
Yeah, but you've got that that sandy Beach Boy blonde hair thing, so you can't really tell.
I know. This is a Zac Efron.
Ooh,
okay.
I love me some Zac Efron.
Anyway, Dave's got a bunch of gray hair.
I do. I really do.
Don't ask him how he got it, because it's a lie. All of it's a lie. But he's got gray hair. So anyway, we are here.
Episode, 134. Sorry. 134. So, Gris, Chiz, Rhodians, buckle up, because we're talking Star Wars as always. And just a random shout out to Patty Mahomes and the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs that are not based out of Kansas. Just throwing it out there.
I knew you could not resist.
Just throwing it out there. Kansas City Chiefs are not based out of Kansas. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, they're not. But congrats to them winning the Super Bowl after last year kind of getting spanked out by Brady and his crazy Thanos powers. He's achieved number 6. Patty Mahomes has got one ring at age 24, which is pretty darn awesome.
I thought he was a rookie.
Youngest QB. No, this is his third year in the season. Or third year in the season. Third year in the league, I'm sorry.
Third year, and he's also from Texas Tech University.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew you couldn't resist, and you know, at least he did not tear up the play book like Pelosi did.
You know, I'd rather have a tear of a piece of paper than not knowing geography and being the one over the country. That's freaking scary as hell. Scary as hell.
Anyway, this is not a political podcast. We just like to poke fun. And before we went live, well, not live, we're not live, but before we started talking, Dave, we didn't know what we were talking about. We started talking. Dave bought Crocs, and he's got gray hair. And
I do have gray hair, but I didn't buy no Crocs.
Trade things in and buy new stuff, and yeah, just anyway.
John's burying foods in the backyard. He's got to get permission. He's looking over permission slips with him, and it's just forging signatures. It's a bad deal. Rectifying situations. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Shout out to Josh about rectifying those situations.
Yeah, and neither do the listeners. The listeners are like, what the hell is going on? Which, sorry, we're gonna get back on topic. Hey, Patrick Mahomes, he won the Super Bowl, and then he went to Disney. Checked out some Galaxy's Edge. Hung out, got some Jedi robes on, checked out the new Rise of Resistance ride. Looks like he had a blast, by the way.
Oh, wouldn't you? And I think it's actually like a charity event.
Is it a charity? I saw him with kids and like signing photos.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
I think that it's like a charity event. I don't know exactly. I don't think it. I could be wrong. We didn't do any research. Obviously, like it's not a football podcast, not a political one either. It's
John didn't post the pictures
but,
either. You know, it was like.
But I think it's like a charity event where these kids are allowed to go with the winners of the Super Bowl to Disney World. They have a parade for them. They go to Galaxy's Edge. They get to do all that cool stuff. But I thought that was pretty awesome that they were able to do that. I was like, I don't think they get to go for free. Like, they get paid a lot of money. Why do they get to go for free?
I don't think they care about the ticket price, John. I think they want to go. And like, he had a tweet from years back before he even was in the league. He's like, oh, I can't wait to, no, I can't even imagine being one of those people that wins the Super Bowl and then gets to go to Disney. Like, he even tweeted that like 5 years back or something crazy like that when he was in college. So, that was pretty cool. His dreams came true.
Dreams came true.
Yeah, dreams.
Do
you still dream?
Dreams came true.
I
do dream sometimes.
Rainbows and shit?
Gotta ask for permission, but
Oh, love it. You got the Crocs by the bed and everything.
So, some of the dreams came true.
For you or for Patty Mahomes?
Outside of Patty Mahomes. John Williams won his 25th Grammy for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Symphonic Suite. And he was nominated for his 52nd Oscar.
Dang.
For the soundtrack of The Rise of Skywalker, which he is the second. He holds the record for the second most nominations ever. He is the number one. He ranks number one for the living most nominations. The number one of all time nomination person is at 59. It's Walt Disney, which I think is pretty cool.
So how's he still getting noms when he's not here?
I think that was before he died.
Oh.
Yeah, like,
well, you
Walt
said
Disney.
You made it sound weird when you said John Williams is the one that's still receiving them and alive. So like, I don't know. In my mind, it just sounded like, hey, Walt died at like 30 noms, and then he got the other like 29 on the back end.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
I'm sure he received some of the nominations once he died, because he died like in the middle of the year and everything else. But like, the person like holding the most nominations who is still alive is John Williams, because he's the only one still living, and he's got 52. Walt Disney is dead, and he holds the most of all time, which is 59.
I didn't know if he still got like noms for like Lion King live action or something random.
No,
because he didn't. Tied like, without him, there would be no Disney, and it's a remake of something that he had his hand in. You know what I mean, or something. I don't know.
No. His name's still on everything, but no, he doesn't get anything for it. So I thought that was pretty cool. 52nd Oscar nomination for John Williams, and 25th Grammy win for him for Galaxy's Edge. Some other bit of information is EA Games has reported that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is on pace to sell 10 million copies.
That's freaking wild.
They projected it at 6 to 8 million.
So that they hit 8 million copies sold by the end of December, far exceeding their expectations of sales. Like you previously stated, they're suggesting by around March, end of March, they'll hit the 10 mil mark. That's freaking wild. Is that Hera or Pennywise in the background?
That's Pennywise.
You're crazy non-husky?
No, she's a husky. She's just a worker. She's a very protective husky. She's been very dependent lately. Like, every time I sit in my chair, she now lays in my lap. I don't know what her deal is.
She's done that for a while now, though.
No, but like, it's like I could be sitting there for like 2 seconds and she's in my lap. Like, as soon as I sit down, she's in my lap. I don't know what's going on with her.
So it's Crocs, man. It's freaking Crocs.
She needs a boyfriend. But anyway, so yeah, not husky, but 10 million copies. Which a lot of people were super excited about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I was one of them. I was jazzed.
Yeah, you
saw the panel celebration. You know what
I mean? And you killed the game in like what, 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days. Which begs the question. I'm not going to spoil the ending for those of you that haven't played the game and still want to venture into that story, but the way it ended, it leaves it open, ambiguous for more content. I think we've talked about it as well as everybody else. Will we get future DLC for this game, downloadable content, or will we just wait a year or two and all of a sudden we'll get an announcement at Celebration or another event that we're getting a sequel. I don't know. I would dig it. It was a fun game. I feel there's a lot more to explore. Even more so, we don't know the full extent of Cal Kestis' story. And I thought it was amazingly cool how they brought in that crazy Mongolian band to be in that game, to have a song in there. Remember that song that I sent you? That was crazy. It was like outside.
You sent me a lot of weird songs.
Well, that's horrible. But yeah, dug the game. I haven't gotten the itch to replay it. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. It's just, it's very time consuming, especially when you want to 100% everything, get everything in there. If I played it again, I don't think I would go that route because I've already been there and done that. I would just kind of hang in there and really focus on lightsaber combat and increase the difficulty level.
So, 100%, guys, for you that are not gamers, means beat the game as quickly as possible.
No, not as quickly as possible. It's turning over every freaking stone and finding every little hidden factoid and piece of equipment and armor you can get in the game.
That's Dave's definition. My definition is just beat as fast as possible. But anyway,
that's totally different, Johnny. You're talking about a speed run, my man.
Has it restored your faith in EA Games to be able to produce Star Wars content for the future?
That's tough. Every blind squirrel finds a nut kind of thing. You know what I mean? They didn't do so hot with Battlefront. Sorry, I'm thinking about another game. Battlefront or Battlefield was a great game. But no, the Star Wars content that they've come up with, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. The last installment had, Iden Versio as the main character. Great fun campaign, but it was rather short. And we still wanted more of that character. So they did a good job bringing a character to life. We just didn't get a lot more on the back end for that character, which doesn't mean we won't get a part 3 that explores more, something down the line. But for the online aspect, people are still playing it, having fun, wrecking shoppers, Vader, Maul. There's even like an outfit you can get Count Dooku where it looks like he's in his pajamas. Yeah, it's weirdly fun though, but I don't have the time to invest and play online, so I don't partake in that aspect of the game.
Okay, just curious, just to know that it restored your faith in EA Games.
Well, there's a lot of rumors coming around that Project Luminous might be linked to a game some way, shape, or form. I don't know if that's true. I don't think if anybody really knows if it's true or not. But we know Luminous thus far is going to be comics and books. If there's a game included, awesome. If there's a sequel to Fallen Order, amazing, fantastic. Or even that rumor of us getting another installment, a third part, closing the saga of, I guess, Revan and the Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay. So it's interesting that you bring up Project Luminous. And so we had somebody ask us about this.
Sorry, I just wanted to whisper. Be all creepy. No?
Okay, Draco.
Malfoy?
Yes, thank you.
I didn't know where you were going for that.
That took you way longer than I expected you to.
What has it to do anything with Draco Malfoy?
It's wizard, like luminous, like...
He never does any spells that... anyway, just go ahead.
Draco is also the evil of the wizarding world. You are the Sith.
He's not evil.
Okay, but
he's just misled, and he was just trying to follow in his pop's footsteps of being a Slytherin and a Death Eater, but he didn't have the hat. He couldn't do it.
Okay, Voldemort. There.
Hey, don't bring Voldy into this.
So anyway, so you bring up Project Luminous, and somebody commented on our YouTube on our last episode, which was 133, that posted on Monday, and asked us, guys, Chaos Rising, the Throne Ascendancy book, the first one, has been delayed to October from, I think it was May. And they were like, Blue Pages, that's it. That's why they're delaying it. It seems a little weird. And so somebody asked the question, like, what's going on? Something else seems up. and I think we talked about it pretty heavily in that episode, is our belief is, and what we think is we think Project Luminous has been like the full front, everybody, all hands on deck, get it ready, get it out there, make sure everything's good to go. We're getting announcements February 20th of this month, of course, February 20th about what Project Luminous is and get more information on it. It's been talked about for over a year, guys. There's more to come. We just don't know what it is quite yet. We will find out in a couple of weeks. Our firm belief is that's why everything's getting pushed back. It's not because there's any issues with writing, they're having creative differences or anything like that. It's strictly because of the fact that I think they're trying to make sure that Project Luminous goes off without a hit and there's no other issues.
I think the fact that they're just giving us blue pages is just something to hold us over.
Yeah.
Tell us, hey, sorry, we didn't get out on time, but you know what? For waiting, we're going to go ahead and spruce up the copies. And not only is it going to be, it's not going to be exclusive to just 200 copies or convention exclusive. Everybody's going to get their hands on some blue thrown pages if you want it. So I just think it's a cool little thing that they're tossing our way. They make it sound like there's more things to come in regards to that book or how they're going to make it special or make it up to the fandom, but who knows? Either way, Project Luminous coming at us in 15 days, because today we are shooting the 5th, and this will air on the 6th, so for you guys then it would be, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. What?
A lot of math in there. We also talked on that episode about floppy disk, which dated Dave and I tremendously. Mind you, Dave just told you that I turned 32. Dave is turning 32 this month as well, so don't let it fool you that he's not that far off from me. But we also had a fan that we thought was pretty cool, and he comments on a lot of our stuff, so we just wanted to give him a shout out on the show, because he also, not only did he hold on, I want to make sure, not only did he correct us
on the storage capacity of those darn floppy disks.
On the storage capacity of a floppy disk, which held 1.44 megabytes. And he says, I remember installing Windows 3.1 with 16 disks and the sound the computer made reading them. Shout out to Greg Williams. Thanks for being a fan of the show. Thanks for listening. You consistently comment on our Facebook page. You talk to us. You talk to other fans of our page and everything else. There's several of you out there. But because of the floppy disk, it took us back to like us being younger. And so, Greg, let's give you a shout out. So just as a heads up. So
appreciate it, Greg. Yeah, for sure, man.
Thank you.
That definitely made us laugh and helped us not have to Google the floppy disk thing, because honestly, it had slipped my mind until I read that comment. I was like, oh my God, the floppy disks. So awesome job, Greg, being the man and coming through with that knowledge.
Because when you say 1.44 megabytes, I don't think that's what they posted on the package, because it's not an even number. Like usually it was even numbers they gave, so I think it was probably like, we probably had lower than megabytes back then. And,
either way, Greg's the man who came in clutch with that info.
Yeah. But yes, so shout out. So anyway, moving on. Dave, I'm excited.
Where are we moving?
Excited. And short 8 months. 8 months been confirmed. Bob Iger and Jon Favreau. The Mandalorian returns October 2020.
I still want Mandalorian Season 1 on Steelbook 4K.
I'm done. Stop talking.
They haven't mentioned it, John.
They're not going to mention it.
I want it in a physical copy that I can have on my shelf next to the rest of my other Steelbooks.
You know what? Send an email to John. I dare you. Send an email to John.
To Fav?
Do it. Yes, do it.
Give me his contact info.
Tweet him.
Fine, I'll tweet the guy.
Tweet him and see what he says. Okay. What is he going to tell you?
Right.
What is he going to tell you?
Why are you yelling at? Why are you so aggressive?
The man who says all they can tell you is no. That's all you've preached in my entire life.
You turn 32 and you just become an angry man.
I am angry. Bury my boots. Gotta live in Crocs.
I feel like in this episode the dynamic has shifted. You're on the dark side. I'm on the light.
Yeah, because you don't listen.
I don't.
You're younger than me, and you need to listen to your elders.
Ooh, it's not the years, it's the miles, John.
Those miles needed an oil change a long damn time ago.
Shout out to Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. There you go. I love that scene. I love that scene, by the way.
Anyway, tweet Fab and see what he tells you.
Right.
I guarantee you.
I'm gonna tweet him tonight. Once we get off the air, I'm gonna be like, "Hey Fab, what up, buddy? Where's that Steelbook Blu-ray for The Mandalorian season 1?"
To see what he says.
Okay,
all he can tell you, all
he
can do two things. He can tell you it's coming, it's ignore you, or hey, we hadn't thought about that. Like 3 things that he could tell you.
Oh, they've thought about it. But either way, I'm gonna hit him up tonight. I'm gonna hit him up tonight, and I'm gonna send you the screenshot so you can post on the page.
I'm not. I don't think it's just a picture like Mahomes at Disney World. I won't post it.
That's true. Poor Patty Mahomes.
Anyway, I'll get those pictures out tomorrow, guys.
Patty Mahomes could listen to the show and be like, "They don't care about me. They're talking about me, but they don't show me love, and they don't put the."
You know what? For that, I'll find Patty Mahomes' Twitter and
hit
Instagram,
him up.
and I will hashtag, not a hashtag, but I'll add him.
There you go.
What is it? And say, hey, my bad for not.
And then be like, the forces with Mahomes hashtag.
Anyway, so moving on, Dave. I got
completely lost where we're at. Yeah,
I was super excited about The Mandalorian. That's all they told us. No official dates, but Bob Iger confirmed it on a quarterly earnings call this past week that it will be returning in October 2020. He also tweeted it. So we're there.
So, other than the fact that we don't know anything about a Blu-ray release or whatever. Ooh, you're looking so angry. If the listeners could only see what I saw, the hate in your eyes. What does season 2 hold? Where's it going? How many episodes? They haven't talked about that. You think it's going to be the same amount of episodes or more, John? So we had 8 in season 1, right?
So here it is. I think it's going to be an exact replica of season 1. Same amount of episodes, same amount of time frames. Obviously, the story's going to transition and build and everything else. But I think they're going to stick with that. I think that tune of like 8 episodes is just enough. Gives the ability to have, keep production costs low and all that other stuff, but it still brings the audience in. The time frames, in my opinion, were absolutely perfect. It kept you in suspense. It kept you wanting more. I was good with it. That's where I'm at.
I was good with it too, but I want 10. I want 10 glorious weeks. Even more so because we do not have a feature film this year. In 2019, we had the film.
But you're getting so many other things.
What are we getting this year? In that time frame of December? Not much.
You're not getting anything in that time frame of December, but you're getting so many other things this year. You're getting a celebration right before that. Like a month before that kicks off, you're getting a celebration.
Yep.
You're getting probably a lot of announcements there. Apparently you're getting Clone Wars, which kicks off in 2 weeks. You're getting this animated series that's a post Rebels that everybody's reporting on, but nobody knows what it's about besides it's post Rebels, and that's pretty much it. And you got the Cassian Andor series that's already going to start production, and then you got the Obi-Wan series that's been put on hold, but still going forward. Just creative differences, not canceled. And I think you just got so much, and we don't even know what Celebration has in store for us. You don't.
All we know is they have avocado BB-8 shirts.
They do.
That's all we know.
God, they do.
That's all we know.
And unfortunately, we got to wait till the end of the year right now for stuff that we know is confirmed. Celebration, The Mandalorian, besides Clone Wars.
No, for sure.
Speaking of that, did you start Star Wars Resistance? Because I did.
Oh, I didn't. It was on my agenda today, but I didn't get to it. But I'm off the weekend, so I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna watch some Resistance.
Episode and a half, then I turn it off.
We got to turn it around. We got to watch it. But no, I want it to be 10 episodes. I want Bill Burr's character to return. I want that angry Twi'lek that they tried to break out of jail, and they did break out of jail. I want him to come back. I want his old buddy that used to be in Sons of Anarchy. I forget his name, the actor. That was the one that hired him for the job to go and get the Twi'lek out of jail. I forget the actor's name. Forget his name, but he got betrayed. But he tried to double cross the Mandalorian, and the Mandalorian double crossed him. And I just think it would be cool if he came back, all bloody, battered, and wanting some revenge. Because nothing like a good revenge story. And of course, we got to find out more about the Darksaber at some point in episode 2. How it got into Moff Gideon's hands.
Season.
What's that?
Season 2.
What do you mean season 2?
You said episode 2.
Okay, cool. Thanks for disrupting the flow. Yeah. We're going to find out more about the Darksaber. Hopefully that happens. The backstory between him and the Mandalorian. What Cara Dune's role in the season 2, as well as Carl Weathers, Grief Karga. And let's see if it takes a jump in time and the child is a little bit more mature and able to speak. We know they have a name for the kid. We haven't heard it. Taika Waititi says it's got a name. It hasn't been dropped yet, so I'm thinking that's going to be revealed at some point in season 2. No? Yes? Maybe?
Mark Boone Jr.
There you go. He was riding with Ron Perlman and everything in Sons of Anarchy. Why are you looking so angry? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Guys, watch the YouTube and see John's faces.
Oh, that's right. I was like, why can't they see me? I was like, not everybody watches the YouTube rather.
No, but season 2, it's going to pack a punch. We're not going to get IG-11 anymore. He was a great character. He passed away tragically. Defending and saving everybody, but hopefully we continue to get more zany antics like those 2 scout troopers punching the bag with the child inside of it. And just giving that subtle comic relief. That's what I want more of. And I want Yabba.
Oh, God. You're not getting Yabba.
Maybe Yabba's kid. Yabba's kid. Yabba. I want Yabba's kid.
You're not getting Yabba.
We got a baby, we got a child, Baby Yoda thing. We need a Baby Yabba in real life. They could play together.
Baby Yabba, the TV series.
I'm digging it. Diego Luna's on board.
The Mandalorian coming out October 2020. Let us know what you guys want to see, what you're expecting in season 2, number of episodes, how long, all that good stuff.
Baby
Most people
Yabba.
will be like, we want 30 episodes. Not going to happen, guys, but we'll see what happens. So, moving on to just real quick, we're going to touch on this before we get into our bigger topic. Oscars are coming up this weekend. Rise of Skywalker had some nominations.
How many noms they got?
2.
Okay, for what?
Visual effects with ILM, including Patrick Tubach, Roger Guyette, and Dominic Tuya. This is actually 2 nominations for Dominic. He also received a nomination for the movie 1917. And then there's also a second nomination for Best Sound Editing for Matthew Wood and David Accord. Matthew Wood, is he the guy that voiced Grievous in the Clone Wars? Like, is that the same guy?
I believe so.
Okay. We posted this article on our Facebook page. We did not post the visual effects one. I will go back and repost that. I will post that one. But the best sound editing, go check it out. It's a long article. It's not like a super long article, but I picked tidbits from it, so I'm giving you a high level. Basically said that there's 2,000 new sound effects inside The Rise of Skywalker. Every scene had a different sound effect. Like, there was different sounds for almost every scene inside of the movie. They recorded some of their scenes, some of their sound effects inside of a metal building, and they found it by accident. They were walking somewhere to get out of the storm, out of the windstorm, or whatever was going on wherever they were recording or where they were at and the wind rustling through the building and over the building, they recorded it and they turned it into something else. Pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Even said that they had to work through, obviously, Carrie Fisher sounds, for our voices from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Adam Driver did some of his line recordings in a closet just to be able to give us that extra effect on his character and what it was. This is like an Easter egg, and they're not really saying where it's at in the movie. And apparently, it's a cameo by George Lucas, and there's a scream in the movie, and it's called The George. It was originally recorded by George Lucas on American Gangster in 1973. It has been placed in Rogue One, and as well as, I believe, The Last Jedi, they said. But it's also in The Rise of Skywalker, and it's different than the Wilhelm scream.
I was about to say, it's not the Wilhelm scream, is it?
No, it's different than that. But they will not say where it's at in the movie or what it sounds like. So it is an Easter egg. So nobody really knows where it's at or what it sounds like or what it consists of. But I saw an article today when I was typing something into Google, and then I reread the article that I posted on the nomination. I was like, oh, that's the Easter egg they were talking about. But it is very different than the Wilhelm scream. But they said it was originally recorded in 1973 American Gangster, which was also done by George Lucas.
You mean American Graffiti?
Yeah. Put AG down. I told you I was going to remember.
Not American Gangster.
American Graffiti. Well, that was his first movie, right?
His first well-received movie, American Graffiti. And he only made it like as a dare kind of thing. Like, oh, I can do like a fun popcorn teen culture movie about cars that he loves cars. So.
Okay. American Graffiti. Graffiti.
With Ron Howard and Harrison Ford, by the way.
That's awesome. So it's called The George, just FYI. So 2 Oscar nominations. I will be tuning in to watch the Oscars, so then we'll report on it. Dave doesn't watch the Oscars. He's apparently said he's super busy watching Star Wars Resistance.
I'm not adult enough. But what is different, and you don't even have it on your notes, so I'm going to drop this tidbit on you right now. The Star Wars show is changing their format, and it will be only airing once a month, the last Wednesday of every month, instead of every week on Wednesday. So they changed their format. They're going once a month. It's supposed to be longer content, everything like that. The first one to be that way was in January. So changing that up, they will have a spin-off show, if you will, that's called This Week in Star Wars, where they'll be covering news and just giving us the latest and greatest of what's going on. And that will be hosted by Kristen Baver. Yeah. So a little side hustle they got going on. No more of your regular Star Wars show. John, I know you watch it every now and then. What are your thoughts? Do you not care? Are you chilling? What?
To me, like, I watched it when you sent it to me, and I always thought that the layout of it was very weird anyway. Like, it was super, like, these are the highlights, these are the news.
Yeah,
and then
it felt rushed.
It felt very rushed, and then it kind of went into, we're doing this interview, and then we're not even talking about what we just talked to you about, and we're not giving you any more tidbits than what we just gave you. And then we're over here again, and then, oh my God, there's a commercial break, and then we're advertising this new toy, and then we're over here. Like, where they always say, oh, it's breaking on the Star Wars show. Like, it was never anything that I was like, oh, I gotta watch that. Like, it just, I'm glad that it's changing. I didn't see the January one. I know that it comes out on Wednesdays, and I did, but I didn't always post it. It was usually when, like, hey, we're gonna give you a special message. But I also realized that most of the content they reported on was already information that had been said.
Yeah, it was already out, and they were just giving a different perspective or more details on something.
Yeah, it's essentially like what we do, we recap it. We don't break anything. Like, we're not in Lucasfilm headquarters where they're like, hey, John or David, go write this article and break the news. Like, we're giving our perspective and our thoughts on what it is. FYI, Lucasfilm, if you ever want people to break the news, like, we're here.
I'm down.
So.
I'm getting my big break after I tweet Fav.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'll go check out the new format and see what it's like. But to add another show that's also a weekly one, that's kind of I think you're kind of doing the same thing. So I'm really not kind of sure.
Well, this
what's
one's
going
supposed to
on.
be strictly news, and then when they do their monthly Star Wars show, it's going to be more in depth. They say they've got a lot of plans for different content to keep it fresh and exciting. So it's not going to be the facility or the ship to give us news. It's just going to be fun and intriguing Star Wars content, I think, from the way they made it sound. Either way, Anthony and Andy are going to be doing that coming every Wednesday of the last part of the month. So last Wednesday in Feb.
All right. Final
else?
thing, biggest thing.
No.
Let's talk about this Star Wars Shadowfall and Alphabet Squadron novel cover.
It's pretty beast. I dig it.
It is pretty beast. Do you know who's on the cover of it?
I don't remember the name. I don't remember her name now.
It's featuring Chas Na Shattuck, she's a music loving bomber pilot, and yeah.
I need to reread that book. Like I don't know if I was not in the mood for it or what when I read it or listened to it the first time, but it didn't jive well with me.
Yeah, so I didn't read it. And they also, with this cover, announced, it was IO9, announced an exclusive excerpt from the book. Del Rey Star Wars put it out with them. And I read the excerpt and I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't understand why this excerpt wasn't as cool as like we've gotten excerpts from Thrawn and Master and Apprentice and other books. And I'm like, I don't really get the point of this excerpt. And then I got to the very last line of the excerpt, and I was like...
And they hit you at the point of the very last line.
And then I was like, intriguing. And it reminds me of this show that Dave told me to watch, The Boys, on Amazon Prime.
What?
And I was like, hated it. Last 5 minutes, I was hooked. I was like, I'm going to watch the next one just because. And I hated it. I'm going to turn it off after this episode. And then I loved it. So, very similar, whatever. But it's the book, obviously by the title, we're in Alphabet Squadron again, which is led by Harrison Dula. But its focus is more on Shadow Wing, which is the 204th squad from the Empire, which is what Harrison Dula's team is hunting down or looking to hunt down. And they have they're led by somebody new now, Major Soren Kaisi, who is Eureka's former mentor when she was part of the 204th. I don't know who any of those people are because I didn't read it. But.
So at the big reveal was the random gunslinger lawman at the friggin' very end turned to be her old supervising captain or colonel, whatever the hell his name was. Don't make that face, it's scary. And now he's back in the mix, kind of thing. Like I said, when I read it, I wasn't jazzed, and I felt like I could see all the things coming.
So, Shadowfall is out June 23rd, 2020. No, this has been confirmed. Del Rey has said it's not been pushed back or anything like that. But I'll read you the last paragraph of the excerpt, Dave, and maybe it'll
reignite,
do something for you, and I don't know. So it says, Soren decided it no longer mattered whether the war with General Syndulla's forces was the right war for the 204th. It was far better than the alternative. And I'm like, well, what the hell's the alternative?
Keep reading, buddy. Keep reading.
And I was like, what's way better than the alternative? And at this point, they mentioned during the excerpt, obviously the Emperor's dead.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, spoiler alert.
Well, I don't know. He comes back and rides Skywalker.
Dear Jesus, Duel of Fates. But anyway, so you can go check out the excerpt again, June 23rd, 2020, coming out. I'm surprised I didn't get a Christmas list with books that you wanted.
I can send you one.
You didn't give me a list for your birthday. I don't know what to buy you for your birthday this year. The thing I'm going to buy you, I don't think you're actually going to ever use, but I think it'd be super cool. But I think it'd be cool. You've mentioned you want it, but I don't know if
it's one of those. I mention a lot of things.
I know. It's just, that one time you mentioned that stripper pole, and I was really against it, but I think I may just get it for you now.
Yeah, it's going to pay off. Trust me. Trust me. I saw J-Lo, what she could do in that Hustler movie. At 50.
Okay.
If she can do it at 50, man, I got some time.
Man. And then he said he wanted some classes for goat yoga, and I really don't understand his motives.
And baby goats, man, that's where it's at. The girls will be lining up to pet a baby goat, and then I'm holding the baby goat.
Done. People knew you. Anyway, so don't know. I didn't get a list, so I'm still trying to figure out what to get Dave for his birthday.
If you want, get that other art piece that I was looking at, that Celebration exclusive.
See, this is what Dave does. Like, Dave doesn't give me any inclination about what he gets me for gifts because he's so creative and innovative in his mind, and you just know. Like, I know Dave, but I also know Dave that if I buy him something, he's like, I don't want that. I'm not going to use it. Send it back. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world, and I'll hold on to it for 30 years, and then when he dies, I'm going to throw it away, and then he's going to be like, I'm going to haunt you from hell now because you threw it away.
Who says I'm going to hell?
Yeah, you're going to hell. But anyway, kids podcast show.
I know where the frickin' states are, okay? I know geography.
Stop. No political podcast. Anyway.
I'm going to tear this paper up.
Shadowfall.
I'll play both sides.
Looking forward to it. Let's see what happens. Dave's going to read the book for y'all.
I'm not going to read it for you, but I'll tell you, hey, check it out. Listen to it. Love it. See what you think. Talk to me about it. But yeah, that's it. I think that's all we got. Johnny, you got anything else?
No, just, guys, we still got our TeePublic site up with a lot of cool designs like the one right behind me. We got shirts, stickers, they got patches, cups, phone cases, all kinds of cool things. Go check it out. You can also go over to Ultra Saber, pick out a lightsaber. If you go down to the checkout, enter Force Fields and the coupon code, all one word, all caps, you can receive 10% off of Balance of the Force of Star Wars podcast. It does not work on clearance lightsabers or accessories. We appreciate your support in that matter. Any and everything is appreciated. We thank you for tuning in today. We are Balance of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. And as always, may the Force be with you.
Once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. We shall